Hi everyone, welcome to Farsight's ET News, the news show that tells you what the extraterrestrials are up to starting in late February 2022. The ET news of what is going to happen, not what did happen. Now, February is a short month and we are just a bit late with this forecast, so remember that the start date for the forecast is the publication date, and the forecast is for 30 days from the publication date. This is an ET News forecast program that complements our human news forecast that is published at the end of each month. But this ET forecast is published only on Farsight's video streaming service, farsightprime.com. Farsight's ET News is cutting edge, more than a bit controversial, and absolutely need to know. And it is what you need to know. I am Princess Janae. So friends, before we begin, let me mention that we have recently been talking a lot about the Essassani, the hybrid population, which is a mixture of human DNA and gray extraterrestrial DNA. We have also noticed that there may be some confusion about our opinions regarding the Essassani. So, let's set the record straight. As most of you know, we consider most of the Essassani to be a slave population dominated by the Reptilians. But there is also a free group of Essassani, which we call the Essassani Resistance Movement. And they are not controlled by anyone but themselves, since they are free.
If it's like the non-human subjects, they just, like, it would benefit these young subjects to know, to have this awareness, but initially it's just having a negative effect on them and other subjects nearby.
Now we really want to make something super clear. In our view, the future of humanity will depend hugely on our success in helping the enslaved Essassani obtain their freedom. Humanity absolutely needs to work side by side with the Essassani to survive in the galaxy, since the rest of the galaxy is populated by species who communicate telepathically and who are able to engage in neural engagement, which is the process of influencing the mentality of others. We need to regain this capability from our exposure to the Essassani. If we don't do this, we're toast. But also the Essassani desperately need us as a humanity. You see, what is remarkable about humanity is the extreme intensity in the way we experience human emotions. We are an emotional species that, in fact, is a great benefit, since it helps us know what we want and what we don't want.
A lot of those hard-hatted or hard head-geared, it's more accurate to say that, subjects are standing in a group over here, and they have this hard headgear on. Boom. I guess I should have drawn the headgear a bit more pronounced earlier. But hard headgeared subjects over here, and, well, be consistent with the environment. The sort of hilly structure is out there, and then there's an explosive amount of energetics that sort of boom out, and they're a good bit away from it, so they're not affected by this explosive energetics. There's the structure, the mountainous feature. Explosive energetics sort of shoots out of the more base area of that part of the mountain, and then these sort of hard head-geared subjects are just standing a reasonable distance away from that.
We feel our likes and dislikes intensely, and that is what the Essassani need from us. They need to learn how to experience more of their emotions. They need to more fully experience the human side of their makeup. You see, when the Reptilians control a society, they compartmentalize everything. Information regarding all their activities is tightly controlled, and people are told only what they need to know, never the big picture. It is because of this compartmentalization that the enslaved Essassani don't even know that they're enslaved. They don't have reptilians breathing down their necks. They work with greys and, to some extent, insectoids. And they are taught since childhood not to question anything, but to follow rules. They love following rules. And when the Essassani try to live among humans, they try to understand human behavior in terms of rules that they must follow. They think that being a human is more or less a matter of learning the rules of being human and then following the rules. Well, this rule-following behavior makes them especially susceptible to enslavement. Slaves follow rules, all sorts of rules. Slaves confine their behaviors to following those rules, not questioning the rules. But of course, once one feels emotions intensely regarding all sorts of normal activities, then one feels the consequences of following those rules that they are taught from childhood to follow. Attaching emotional responses to the act of following rules comes naturally once one experiences emotions long enough. And that is what the Essassani need in order to gain their freedom. Feeling emotions is infectious in a good sense. It stuck itself to camouflage, and that's kind of what I'm seeing now on a lower level. Alien camouflage space race battle, maybe, because some people are maniacal like that. It's visible, it's seen, and you can see this from Earth. So the main point that I want to mention to you today is the issue of compartmentalization among the various enslaved ET populations. The enslaved extraterrestrials are controlled in large part by limiting the information that they have access to. Control what people know, and you control them from top to bottom. By making sure that groups have only limited knowledge regarding the reasons for doing things, it becomes easier to keep everyone in line, so to speak. Compartmentalization. That is the main new element I want to bring to your attention today.
Not necessarily saying that they may see it in a religious way, but it's almost like a part of their being, their culture, their existence is at some point you get taken away, you know? So yeah, that's what's happening here. Now, why is this happening? I'm getting a feeling that these subjects are used to strictly procreate. Feels like these subjects, this one comes down, grabs one that they like, they take it back to some other area, and I can feel this subject kind of like grow and then like release.
The extraterrestrials who want to control humanity for their own purposes try to keep humanity in the dark about all sorts of things. That is why there is such an emphasis these days in terms of the idea of need to know. We hear it all the time. People are only told what they need to know. And what one needs to know is defined by those who are the ultimate controllers. Compartmentalize what each group needs to know, and you can control each and every group. When you are watching our ET news shows or even our mysteries projects, try to remember the idea of compartmentalization and need to know. That is the key to understanding much ET behavior. Compartmentalization and need to know.